Today
Morning,
I'm
how are you? All right.
speaking, morning. Today I'm speaking with Richard Fuller, UK head of sales for Ledlenser and the German portable lighting company that's ahead of the game with innovation and their new products. Hi, Richard.
How are you? All right.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Okay, so just to give you a little bit of overview from me. So my name's Richard Fuller. I am head of sales for Ledlenser in the UK and the Republic of Ireland. I've actually been in the lighting industry for over 30 years. I probably don't look at it, but I have. Essentially, I've seen all the innovations from very early on. So I've seen the product technology basically shape from and evolve from halogen all the way to fluorescent and then LED. And now we've got emerging markets and technologies in LEP. So I've been at the forefront basically of that kind of innovation. And it's lovely. It's very exciting. So the industry, I sort of stay in it because I love the technology and the advancements that basically it comes with. And Ledlenser's always been at the forefront of that kind of innovation.
I believe Ledlenser were the first to bring out, was it their V8, which was a keyring torch?
Yeah, so Ledlenser started in 1993. So it was started by two German brothers, Harald and Rainer, and they basically invented the advanced focusing optic, which was one of Ledlenser's major USPs, and it still is today. So before then, you had all these different LED torches that were coming out, and they would have like 150 LEDs in the lens. They would look very powerful, but if you shone it at the wall, it wouldn't basically light up the wall.
Yeah.
And so they were the first to basically focus and harness that power of the LED. So they shook up the industry, and they're still reinventing it today. So, their DNA and their influence is still very much felt in Ledlenser now.
So, I mean, I say they're at the forefront of innovation and bringing out new products. What today are their kind of biggest sellers? What innovations are they bringing out now?
Ledlenser are always kind of designing and redesigning and advancing the technologies. So some of the ones that really appeal to me now and what's sort of shaking up the market are the HF series of head torches. So we were sort of at the maximum that we could achieve with the manual spot to flood focusing, and so they started thinking, how can we design this and make it slimmer? How can we make the performance better? How can we make it run longer? How can we make it lighter? There's all these trade-offs that you kind of have to have when you're working in that industry, and so the HF series. There's three in the range, and you have ones that are incredibly lightweight, so they're only 72 grams, so you don't feel it on your head. And that was one of the products that they designed in the portfolio. And then he had the six, where you've got brand new technologies, digital focusing. So rather than you would manually spot and flood it, now you have a series of LEDs that are from spot to flood, and you would basically use a digital wheel to cycle through that, and that was incredible. And then the HF8 was the most advanced head torch that we've got today in the portfolio. That particular product, really high performance, really good balance in terms of weight, perfect IP performance as well, IP68. So they're going into all the different outdoor industries. But it's the technology they had in there. They basically had hands-free spot to flood focusing. So effectively, you would turn it on once, and it would automatically deliver you the right light. And sort of looking at it further, there's some chips in there, some really advanced chips. So they're powerful enough to run Windows 95, and it effectively makes 400 calculations a second to deliver the right light.
Yeah.
So if you are looking at something close up, it will automatically flood out. If you're looking at something in the distance, it would focus in, and it just did it all in real time. So that's one of the best technologies that I've seen employed in a head torch. Yeah, the idea that you would just say turn it on once, and it's basically going to deliver the right light.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds really innovative and also useful for people who are doing multitasking. If you're setting up camp, if you're looking off and you want to find things, and obviously as well as a trail runner.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, if you're, and again, I know that people have put them on mountain bikes because obviously there's the ability to attach it in multiple different ways. That's one of the other nice things about Ledlenser. So I mean, there's a one connect system that goes throughout the product range, and so you could effectively attach it to a tripod, a mountain bike, yeah, your helmet, a head. So it goes everywhere. So, and even more mountain bikes, people were sort of going through, very rough terrain, and they were saying that it would flood out and focus in automatically. So yeah, there's big advantages to that. So
But it sounds like it's a kind of one-stop torch, basically, for everything you need to do.
it definitely is. I would say you think about the investment that people make in some of their outdoor pursuits. They don't buy, mediocre boots or clothing that's going to let water in, and so the investment that we're trying to give to the end user is when they buy something with Ledlenser, they're going to get the ultimate in terms of the technology, but they're also going to get a product with a really long life cycle. So these HF series, we've always had a 7-year warranty that runs through the products, but that now extends to the battery as well. And you
Oh,
think
right.
about that, when you buy into a product, 7 years is an awful long time. So I think we are giving really good value for money in that respect.
Well, as you say, I mean, a lot of products don't last 7 years, 3 years tops if you're lucky.
We have a lot of customers that come back to us that, and again, because we operate complete top to bottom servicing here in the UK, and we'll get customers that come back to us and they'll have torches that are 10, 15 years old, and they'll say, "Oh, look, it's stopped working now. Can you help?" And normally we can sort of triage it over a phone call and say, "Oh, it sounds like the tail cap," and we'll just send them out a new tail cap. And I think our commitment to our customers and the customer service that we've got is second to none. And I mean, I've been in lots of different lighting industries. At Ledlenser, there's just no compromise. Yeah, we want to keep that customer happy.
But as you say, the battery as well would last 7 years. You've got guarantee on that for 7 years, and you won't get a
Yeah.
phone these days with batteries are going to last 7 years.
Well, you think about it, the battery technology is sort of developed just as much as the LED technologies. So I mean, going back in the day, you would be working with lead acid, and then you would have NiCad, nickel cadmium, and then you had lithium ion. And lithium ion is a phenomenal technology. So it has no memory effect. It can't be harmed leaving it discharged for long periods of time. You can't overcharge it. So it's effectively a bomb-proof technology. Even having said that, our batteries are UN 38.8 approved and tested. So we go to very stringent measures to make sure that we're using the safest lithium ion
Yeah.
technology, because there is a scale, and obviously if you look at some companies where they're just bringing in a 10, 12 pound product, they won't have a great lithium ion
Yeah.
battery, and it won't have all the safety standards that we have to have. So, and I think we're key on that. Safety is really important. Lithium ion can be a volatile technology.
Yes.
Years ago, you used to see, laptops bursting into flames and all those kind of things. So, yeah, we want to make sure that the product is safe and the battery is safe. And the nice thing about Ledlenser, because we own our own supply chain from top to bottom, every single product before it leaves the factory is charged and discharged 3 times, and hence we have zero failure rate out of the box. And so, yeah, we go to an extra level each time.
I mean, as you mentioned, the head torch range with the HF being the top of the range, is
Yeah,
there
well,
an entry
hmm.
level, or is the HF you just get that and you don't really need to?
In the HF series, you do have a good, better, best. So depending on what activity you're doing, you've got the HF4, as I say, that one has the best weight to performance ratio pretty much in the world. At 72 grams, it's delivering 500 lumens, and its price point is around about £50. With a 7-year warranty, including the battery, I think that represents incredible value for money. And then you've got middle of the range with the HF6 that has the digital focusing, and then you go all the way up to the 8, which is the most advanced focusing. So I think we've got a product to cover every kind of price point, every kind of activity. But we do go further into it. So running's a huge market for Ledlenser, and we thought very carefully about how we develop those products. So just from the casual runner all the way to people that are doing fell running and extreme running, where they're sort of doing 80-90 kilometers. And I can never picture myself doing that. We've got to be able to have a product that kind of meets their demands, basically. So we have a Neo series, which is a dedicated running product. Again, these ones will have the battery on the back with the red light, so that you've got some hazard awareness if you're running against traffic or in rough terrains. People can see where you are, but the actual LEDs themselves and the makeup of it, it's all very flush, and the light performance is balanced to give you spot and flood at the same time. And I'm a casual runner, so I'll just do the 5K runs, and I'll typically run through the park, and I'll do it at night. I think mostly because I don't want anybody to see me doing it, getting out of breath. But it's so well balanced. There's again 3 in the range. In fact, there's 4 in the range there. You have a non-rechargeable option too, but basically you've got the Neo 1, which again, really lightweight, even lighter now. It's 32 grams. So it's a sort of thing that you just scrunch up in your pocket, chuck in there, bring it out when you want to go and have a little bit of a run. 250 lumens, it's perfect. And then you'll get up to the 5, which is the one that I use. And again, you've got high performance, 600 lumens. Really good balance of spot and flood. And what I do is I'll normally angle it right the way down, and it's lighting up 2-3 meters of the path that I'm running on. And then if I tilt my head back, I can see sort of 20-30 meters up the track, and it's perfectly balanced. And then you've got things like the Neo 9R with more power, more performance, longer run times, and they're the ones that these extreme runners typically wear. But they just don't move. You can feel it. There's nothing more annoying when you've got a head torch and it's kind of bouncing and wobbling as you're running. And these ones are flush and they're perfect for that kind of thing. So we're covering lots of different industries now. So that's just one of them that we've designed for running. And we worked with people like a lot of brand ambassadors. There's a Mont Blanc champion, Xavier Theanard. He's actually endorsed that product, and it's on, his face and his name are on the packaging. So, we want to capture that running market, and he was a great partner for us for that.
I mean, you talk about running. I mean, what other outdoor activities are they useful for as well?
Well, I like the broadness that our product portfolio covers. So, I mean, and the fact that we're global as well. So I'll see a pro mountain cyclist in Australia wearing the H19R signature, which is again an ultimate performing. That's a 4,000 lumen head torch, but because of that connecting system, they can obviously connect it to the front handlebars. And then I'll be watching Monster Carp, and I'll see I think it's Neil Spooner. He's wearing an MH4 at night. So it's just so diverse. I love that the industry just goes everywhere. So, when we were originally testing the HF series, we brought a series of we brought some customers along, and we did the underground caves in Wales, zip lining, and great day. And you could just use it there, just zip throughing. They turned all the lights off, and you could see it, interacting and spot and flooding. As you're looking right the way down to the bottom, it's all focused in tight, and as you're zipping through the caves and you get closer to the wall, it would flood out. And so and again, the idea of when we're looking at each other, it automatically recognized that there's a lot of light there, and it would dim down as well, so it protects your eyes and all those kind of things. So the market is really broad. Fishing is big for us, but I know that in Australia, the outdoor camping life is huge too. So, and it is getting bigger in the UK now. I think COVID brought a lot of that sort of staycation type thing. So it's developing nicely.
But Ledlenser isn't just about head torches, though, is it? I mean, you've got handheld torches, you've got camping lanterns.
Absolutely, yeah. So we've got a series of camping lights. We've got very small little compact ones in the ML series. So the ML4 is great, and then we've got the ML6, and that one has Bluetooth connectivity. And I'm thinking, well, what's the advantages having Bluetooth? And you know, if you're coming back to your tent at night and you're at a festival and you've got a sea of tents where
Yeah.
you could turn the light on basically and set it to flashing red using a wristband or the app, and then you'd be able to locate your tent. So there are advantages to it. If you're sort of snuggled up and you want to turn the light down, you can do that. And I say
Yeah.
you can either tether it permanently to a wristband, or you can use your app on your phone. So I like the idea of that versatility for it. So the ML series is a great range of camping lanterns, and the torches themselves. That's kind of big part of our DNA. So we have the MT series. The MT are designed for the outdoor experiences. They have great run times, high performance, advanced focusing with that spot to flood. And that bleeds into everything from search and rescue rely on those types of products, mountain rescue teams, but it's there for the outdoor experience as well. I was sitting with Ray Mears last week, and he's a huge fan of our torches. And he said, basically, of all, because he must use tons and tons of different people's products as he goes through it. And I mean, he's the ultimate survivalist, pretty much, isn't he? So, and he said they are by far products that have never ever let him down. He's still got some old ones in his drawers, and it was fascinating to see all the different ones that he had. But he said, if I was to rely on something, it would be Ledlenser.
Yeah. That's good to know. That's
Yeah.
quite an endorsement. And
It is, yeah. I
yeah.
think the so we obviously lent him the LEP, which is the new so there's a torch called the P9R LEP, and effectively that's using a brand new technology. So it's not LED, it's laser excited phosphor, and it's designed for beam throwing. It does have a COB LED for flood, and you've got red for signaling as well and protecting your night vision. But it's when you turn it on to the LEP, that has a beam range of 1,300 meters in a very small form factor. So we lent him one to trial, and boy, he was blown away by that. I think he's writing a book about surviving out in the wild, and I think he might even mention that product. Don't hold me to that, but I think he liked it that much that he's gonna write about a couple of the products and put them in the book.
Right, excellent. But again, to say, the first item was a key fob light, and you've still got those in your range now, but I'm sure they've moved on a little bit.
They have, yeah. So you had, like I say, the V8 was a little LED keyring torch, and it had button cells. And obviously, Ledlenser is all about sustainability. So where we can have rechargeable, we'd much prefer to have that. We don't want to send tons and tons of batteries to landfill. I think it's all part of our global responsibility to have sustainability at the forefront of what we do. And so we have the new series of keyring torches still, so very compact, very small, and they are rechargeable, but they'll have integrated USB. So you will basically fold out what activates the switch. You would fold that out, and you can plug that straight into a laptop, or you've got the USB-As in your vehicles, haven't you? So you don't need to carry leads around with you, which means that you're constantly having it fully charged. And I like those products because they're so much more powerful than what the original V8 is. I mean, you're looking at 400 lumens from a little keyring torch. So you've got around about a 40-meter beam. So that little keyring torch can help you get things out of the car and the vehicles, etc. But at the same time, you could walk your dog with it, and you could find your dog if you run off into the bushes. And then they'll have other features. Some of them will have like a red light. So again, if you're fishing and you don't want to disturb the fish, you would just have it on red as you're getting stuff out of your kit bag. And then we'll have ones with an audible warning and a strobe and alarm. So that's a great defensive tool to have. And I mean, it's just an everyday carry product because it's going on your keyring.
But that's again, they're small enough that you can carry it around in your pocket or in your purse or whatever you're carrying it around in. So they're extremely useful in an everyday situation rather than just being kind of outdoors.
There are some products that kind of go everywhere, and the K series of keyring torches, they are kind of something that goes everywhere. So my wife's got one, my mother-in-law's got one, my daughter who walks to school has got one. You know, I just think that that type of product is for everybody. Everybody should have
Yeah.
something like that. And because mobile phones, you know, give out a little bit of light, but they don't have any distance. So
No.
with the K series, you've got a really strong, powerful torch in a much smaller form factor. And yeah, the alarm side of things, we've used that in heavy industry where they'll keep a little keyring torch clipped to their high-vis clothing, and in a pinch, you know, that could help them walk out of a tunnel and keep them safe. And then if they pull the alarm, it indicates that they might be having some kind of issue or trouble, and it could save somebody's life. We have
Yeah.
lots of industrial stories where you have, you know, people, lone workers working in isolation, where that type of product has saved their life. But yeah, just as a defensive tool on its own, it's perfect.
I mean, obviously you've talked about the HF8 series. What's next for Ledlenser? Because how far can you push it with the LEPs and everything else?
I think the LEPs are at their very infancy. So I think that there will be more LEP technology emerging because, you know, at that type of performance, 1300 meters, you'd want to be able to harness that into head torches. So at the moment, it's just buried in a torch. And you imagine that they're going to be working on that technology and seeing how they can put that into a head torch. And then I think with there's a lot of AI coming through, and I think yeah, we're now at a point where we could start to utilize some of that inside of our products. So with the Bluetooth, there's Bluetooth head torches, and again, I was thinking, what was the point of that? But you can obviously customize all the programs and settings and send that to the head torch, and then it doesn't need to be connected. You're not sort of turning it on and off with a phone, but if you did that, you could customize all the programs so that you just want it to come on one mode or have it on red first, etc. So I like the idea of that customization. I think they will expand on that some more as well, to have these app-enabled things. Because we are always carrying our phone with us, and I
Yeah.
think so. There's a natural synergy between doing those kind of things. So you can see live, you know, battery status, all sorts of different things in the app. So, but I think LEP is probably by far the technology that they will start to push some down boundaries with, and I think also with the advanced focusing optics that we developed all that time ago, I think you're at the very limits because the LEDs are becoming more powerful, and that means that the actual things become a little bit deeper, a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
And so what they're looking at now is PCBs with multiple LEDs on them. So I think they're now looking at how to spread it so that you can still have the runtime, you can still have the light performance. And so that's where they first started doing it with the HF. And I think they might even look at doing that on some of the torches as well, because you want to make them run more efficiently. So in Germany, they're always redeveloping something. So it started, you know, with the HF. I saw that as being a completely different technology to what we've been using previously. And as if we could, you know, put that same form factor into a torch, that would be interesting to me, because you know, having a wheel here, you know, even, you know, sometimes you have to spot and flood it with two hands, and now we're sort of working with just using one-handed spot to flood, and yeah, I'd like to see a torch with automatic focusing spot and flood. That would be interesting to me as well, but we'll see what they create in Germany. That's where all the products are designed and developed.
So you can get your products, I take it from your website, but also from every decent outdoor store in the country.
Yeah, we obviously we've got many routes to market. As I say, we have our own website, as many people do these days, just to service the consumer, mostly for accessories and spare parts, because you know that's something that you're challenging to get into distribution. So the accessories and all the other different components are available on our website, and then we have heavy retail in terms of, you know, people like Go Outdoors. You know, they're a phenomenal shop front for us. they're typically where somebody who was the outdoor enthusiast would go. So it's great to be working with those guys, and they do allow us to, bring in different products and test it in the market. Yeah, Go Outdoors is one of my favorite kind of places to go to. I've bought the odd tent and a pair of boots and things in there as well.
Brilliant. And the outdoor shop, some people want to get yours product, where would they go?
Um, well, so we've been steadily increasing the outdoor sector with the product portfolio, and there's lots of independent shops that you can go to. We work with a brand leader with Burton McCall, so they've now I think we took it to as far as we could take it in terms of the stages, and then we needed somebody like Burton McCall, who is a company that I've known since I was, a young boy, 20-year-old man, and they basically they are the right partner to take it into the industry, because they're supplying lots of high-end brands into the outdoor sector, and so they know the independents, and the independents and nationals, they trust Burton McCall. So I think we've left them to take us, basically, Ledlenser, to the next level. But I think there's lots of say, you can go into dedicated running shops there, where they'll check the shape of your foot, how you run, all that kind of thing, and then they'll align it with, well, you need this head torch, you need this product, and then you say you've got just the casual, shop, like where you would go in there and you could do a little bit of fishing, a little bit of hunting, where they're selling knives and things. So there's lots of independent shops. We also have Angling Direct, because they're a big market for the outdoor fishing.
Excellent. Well, I think we've covered a lot there, and
Yes,
it's been a pleasure talking to Richard. So hope to speak to you again soon.
thanks very much for having me.
Brilliant. Cheers.